So, welcome back. We are here live on Latinos for Trump 2020, and have a guest today who happens to be our marketing director. She is an advisor for Latinos for Trump. Everybody, please welcome Laura Kirby.
Hi, Bianca. It's nice to visit with you this evening, and of course, all of our LFT members and colleagues.
Absolutely. I'm telling you. Laura, thank you so much. Listen, you are an extremely busy woman, as most of our advisors are. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm sharing this live feed, and so that people know that we're live and people tune in. I don't think I'm being rude.
Okay,
but
ma'am.
Laura, we thank you so very much. Listen, you're one of our advisors, and I just wanted to take the time to highlight you because I don't always interview, you guys, and you guys are in the background doing a lot of work for us. You were the design. A lot of people have asked me, the Latino for Trump t-shirt that has a mariachi hat, Trump with a mariachi hat. You had something to do with that, and had that inspiration in the design, and we had a whole bunch of ideas, and of course we were never able to really get them off the ground. But people that of your caliber, we hold you at high levels, obviously, as advisors, and we look to you for guidance. And so with that said, I want you to be able to talk to our audience. And one of the questions I really have for you is, number one, why are you part of Latinos for Trump? What drives you to be part of our organization? And also I want to talk a little bit with you about you are also vice president of the Republican Women Group in San Antonio. One of them, I'll let you tell who. And then I'm curious to see what our Republican women have been doing and how you guys have been adapting to the current situation. So if you just want to talk a little bit about Latinos for Trump and then go on to what our Republican women across the state of Texas have been doing.
Bianca, thank you for the opportunity, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your recognition. I want to first of all state that my parents reside in a border community in very deep South Texas, close to Matamoros in Hidalgo in South Texas. And that's where I spent about 30 years of my adult life, maybe 35 years. So even though I am not Hispanic, that is the culture that I grew up around. Those are the people that I were neighbors with. Those are the people that I were marketing directors. Those are the people that assisted in business with. And that is the culture that I feel the closest to assimilating with. So when you ladies had originally asked me to become part of Latinos for Trump, to me it was very natural. It was a very natural meeting of the minds, and I thank you all for having me very much. As far as Bexar County Republican women here in San Antonio, obviously we've been in lockdown in San Antonio for about a month now, but we are utilizing the Zoom and GoToMeeting applications as frequently as possible for board meetings, for MAGA meetups, for phone volunteering, for our monthly luncheon, and even for prayer. It's been very inspirational for each of us.
Very good. So the fact that you guys, Republican women, listen, you guys are the backbone. I say you guys, but I'm a Republican woman too. So I belong to a group. But, typically I say you guys because I say women, the Republican women are known to be the backbone of the state of Texas. And I'm sure they are the backbone of this, in other states as well. But in Texas, if it isn't for the Republican women, people probably wouldn't get elected. And so I'm loving what I'm hearing is that instead of just shutting down, you guys have utilized Zoom to continue some type of method of meeting, still keeping in touch, still holding some kind of meeting, praying. That's awesome. I mean, that's fantastic because our nation and our state needs a lot of prayer. And so that makes me really happy to know that you guys have obviously adapted. What are you finding other Republican women? How do you think they have been adapting? And what do you think what do they say about how the president has how he has actually conducted himself during this time? What's
As far as the
the
Republican groups that I'm affiliated with here in Texas and in San Antonio, the ladies seem to be they have very positive comments regarding President Trump's response to the coronavirus issue. They're very happy with the way Governor Abbott has decided to take a lead in the situation. They're happy that Texas is in the national news for providing independence to their people, going back to the Constitution, allowing people to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, things of that nature. Very, very seldom do I hear people, Bianca, that state they are not pleased with the work that President Trump and his task force are currently doing in regard to the coronavirus issue. And maybe that has a bit to do with the circle that I assemble with. And we talked about volunteering. A lot of what we do right now is phone banking. And I do want to mention to you that when we are phone banking to people that we do not know personally and we're not meeting face to face, it's a very polarized crowd. It's either I love him and I support him 100+%, or I can't stand him and I cannot wait for him to get out of office. It's very polarized and it's very eye-opening.
Wow.
It really is. It's very eye-opening. Even in a state such as Texas, it is a battleground state, which we never thought would be possible. It is.
Correct. So would you say it's fair to say that the Republican women right now are, didn't hang up their, coat at the door and take off their shoes and just say, okay, well, we'll see you in May. They really have been phone banking. You guys have been making phone calls. I know I'm registered. I'm going to start making phone calls as well. I know our organization, several of us have said that we're going to sign on to make sure that we're making phone calls as well. But the Republican women out there are making these phone calls. Now, interesting that you say that you're finding out that the responses are very polarized. One of the things is I know that you also are very involved with the Mighty Strike Force here in Texas. Is that the group, or who is the one that's taking the lead right now in phone banking and making those calls?
So Bianca, that would be Mighty American Strike Force, MASF, and that would be Mighty Texas Strike Force, TFRW, Texas Federation of Republican Women, and also the Trump Victory Campaign through the Republican Party of Texas. So we have the same system that we use for our phone banking, but each of the entities has their own separate call log, and each separate call log has its own set of questions that they encourage us to ask callers. So it's very, very, very interesting as to the responses that we're receiving, whether it be in rural or urban areas of the state of Texas.
Do you think that based on the phone calls that you've already made yourself, I know that you were in a private conversation, and I won't disclose too much, but there were some concerning matters to you that you vocalized for me. Do you think that those were more in the urban areas or more in the rural areas, or what was your feel on that?
I would definitely say it's the urban areas. Definitely the urban areas. So when we use the Red Dialer Advantage application, the system logs in for us and it already contacts a list of potential Republican voters, previous Republican voters, or those whom are marked as swing votes, and of course, Republicans. Definitely when the call logs hit areas such as Houston, Dallas, Austin, it is extremely intense on the responses that we receive. It's not only a response of, yes, I approve, or no, I disapprove. It's very lengthy. They're very verbose in their response. They're very anti our current conservative governmental politics that we have right now in place.
So would you say that, do you think that we just need more phone bankers? What is it that, specifically, just kind of looking at everything and being a part of our organization, What are some of the things that we can tell our Latinos out there? Because we know that we have, a lot of Latinos living in these urban areas, obviously Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. What kind of message, Laura, should we be, saying to them? How, obviously we have more work to do. So what are some of the things that you think, that need to be done?
Bianca, I first want to say that reverting back to our conversation that we just had regarding the urban areas, once the call is made, the screen will populate the name, the primary name of the household, and the city that the caller resides in.
Okay.
When I see that it's a Hispanic last name, it's almost a guarantee that they're going to state that they approve of the job President Trump and his task force are doing. And 9 times out of 10, that is the case. I will tell you that it is more on the Caucasian side that we are seeing the disapproval of what President Trump is doing. It's very, very interesting. Whether they speak English, whether they speak Spanish, predominantly when they are on the phone call, just by the sight of their name says a lot of what I anticipate in regards to the response that I receive. And there are a lot of Hispanics that are extremely supportive of our president. And I'm very, very, very happy to hear and see that.
That's awesome. Well, here at Latinos for Trump, as you've been with us for a while now, that one of our things is that we've always said that Trump is a champion for Hispanics. He is, I call him not oh my gosh, el peleador. He fights for us. He is that guy that just, he just hits back. It's like people hit him, he hits back. And I think that's one thing that he does very, very well.
Is that not the Hispanic and the Latino culture? I mean, it's puro passion. It's love or hate. And that's Trump. He either loves you or he hates you. I hate the fake news or I love the people. It's very relatable.
That's right. And I think and I think that's what maybe the Caucasians are not. They're used to that cookie cutter, politician that just tells them that they're going to do something for them, but they really don't. And so they're not used to this. They're not used to the guy that's just hitting back and, standing up. And, like right now, I mean, obviously, listen, you grew up in the border, out in the RGV. And we talk about the fact that he just said he's going to shut down, he's going to close immigration to the United States. And so people, again, are already all flipping out. Do you think that that's going to hurt, our Hispanics? Because, I mean, I don't think so. But what do you think?
Personally, I don't believe so. So from my friends and colleagues and family members that are in the Valley or who work or reside in border communities, of course, predominantly those are Hispanic individuals. They're very pro-Trump. They've been very pro-wall. They have been very pro, stop everything at the border. I don't see that that's going to be an issue at all. We have our South Texas director, Myra, who does Operation Flag Drop, and she's maybe 10 minutes from the border. It's a very highly populated area in the Rio Grande Valley, and I've asked her what sort of responsiveness are you receiving? She says people come up to her all the time. They want to get involved. They honk. They give thumbs up. I mean, we're talking about this day and time, probably a 95 to 97% Hispanic population, and I'm seeing that those border counties which have been blue forever may possibly have the opportunity of saving the entire state of Texas by flipping red.
Hey, I'm with you. As you know that we had a conference call the other day and we talked about this. She had that flag drop and what did you asked her? You said, hey, you said, what was her response? And she said, people were actually honking out of all the cars that were, she went on one of those overpasses. Remember, she said it was a freeway. And she said, of all the people that were passing by, she said, maybe there was only 3 cars that did not honk. And you being from the Valley, I mean, what does that tell you?
I know exactly the location that Myra was at. And I do want to say that in McAllen, Texas, that is the area that has the largest population in the Rio Grande Valley. And where Myra was located was the entrance into McAllen from the majority of the other valley towns. So anyone that wants to travel into McAllen has to travel through the area that Myra was in. It's a very, very, very highly trafficked area. And for her to provide us with that response on our board meeting call Sunday night was very inspirational to hear. Was very happy to hear that.
It is. And as you know, you were out there with us. We had a conference out in South Padre Island, and that was a reason why we've been doing a lot of engagement and outreach and initiatives. We've been doing these things out in the RGV, spreading the fact that, the message that, Trump doesn't hate people. And, I do a lot of faith-based.
Yes.
So I have been working with those pastors down there for about 3 years now. And they're very supportive of the president, extremely supportive. And I mean, it's like they don't come out and say it. They're not out there waving their flags either, but they're extremely supportive. And so I really think that I would like to say that our organization, has been planting the seeds for a very long time. And therefore, this is why we're seeing the acceptance now, is because we have people who have stood up and not been afraid to say and wave his flag and say Trump and wear the Make America Great hats. And so I think that it's as more people see that other people are wearing it, they get a little bit more comfortable and they start coming out. As you know, we have a new correspondent out there, Daniel, and he's been out there with Myra. So he's trying to learn the ropes, trying to learn what he's doing. And so we have, a lot of those people that are just, really getting involved, and like Daniel, when I had a conversation with Daniel, he says to me, Bianca, I've really never done any of this before. I wouldn't even know. He goes, I voted, but I just go to work. He had no idea what a GOP was. He had no idea what an RNC was. He had no idea. These people are they're not political at all. But he said, I just felt the need to be involved. And I felt pride. I feel proud to be an American. And he goes, I just wanted to wave a flag. I wanted to say I support him. So he literally just got on his bike and started driving around with his bike through the streets, Main Street or whatever. He's with a Trump flag, just driving around and videotaping and taking pictures and trying to get people revved up, and they were honking. And so he figured it out. He's like, oh my God, there is support out here. So it's really awesome to see that. And, we work very closely with the Border Patrol agents down there too. We've done the, appreciations for them down in McAllen and Edinburgh, Edinburgh, Laredo, and even El Paso. So we try to do a lot of those things for our Hispanics out there. So, but it's great. And it's great that I think for you, because you grew up down there. I didn't grow up all the way down there, but you grew up down there. So I think it's awesome that you find hope in that, that because every vote's going to count. Every vote's going to matter this next election, and we need all the votes that we can get.
And Bianca, I want to reiterate that has a lot to do with my passion for being a part of your organization. Because coming from an area such as the Rio Grande Valley and being such a heavily populated Hispanic area, I'm fully aware of the voice that the Hispanic population has in the state of Texas. Yes. And it truly will be the deciding factor for this upcoming election, November 3rd. And what do we have, 195 days, which is just right around the corner. Yeah. And I also want to tell you that so many individuals that I grew up with from the Rio Grande Valley are involved in law enforcement. They're involved in CBP, Border Patrol, Customs, Border Patrol, ICE agents, things of that nature. And so many of them see my political conservative stance post on Facebook. And they may not comment or like publicly, but they will send me a private message and say, I appreciate what you and Latinos for Trump are doing. Your voice is significant. Wow. There are more of us, and we admire the work that you all are doing. We wish that we could be a voice with you. However, we do not have that opportunity because of the contracts and things like that we have to sign with the government or our employers, things of that nature. A lot of them have shared very personal videos as to what they witness, and I have shared them with you all personally and
Yes.
publicly. And the wall
Yes.
has been something that I have been very passionate about for quite some time. And so that is so the case for these individuals that are there, especially the Border Patrol, Bianca, whom are working
Mhm.
the border every single day.
Mhm.
They tell
That's
me,
right.
Laura, it is not fair that I leave my spouse and my children at home while I have to
Mhm.
go out and man women in the fields who are having babies. I have to carry diapers. I have to carry baby wipes. I have to carry all sorts of, first aid kits and infant type of supplies.
Pacifiers, yeah,
Yes,
formula.
and they're telling me, I don't understand why our government would allow these individuals to have more rights than we as government agents out in the field who are here to protect our country and our borders. And they're very
Yes.
passionate about it. They're not as vocal as we are, but I want you to know that they do exist, and there are more of them than we realize.
And that's why we at our organization, and and I know that there was not one person that dared say this is not a good idea or whatever, but everyone was 100% in support of helping out those Border Patrol agents. And I know that they were extremely, I mean, Laura, they were extremely appreciative that they said, that was really hard for me to hear, but they said, no one's ever done anything like this for us. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? No one's like done a community service event with you? And they're like, no one's appreciated us for the work that we do. So I make it a point, and I have videos. I don't think I've ever posted them, but every time I come back through the checkpoint, I get my Latinos for Trump, my little sign. And then the last time, look, my little,
I love it.
like, look.
That's my
So
girl.
I was going through the thing, and I'm like, I had my friend driving, and I had my sign, and it was in the front dash, and I was like, Latinos for Trump, and they were like, they didn't even know what they were just like, are you a US citizen? Because they have to ask, right? So they're like, are you a citizen? I was like, Trump, baby. I was like, hey, I was like, Latinos for Trump supports you guys. I was, we're with you. And they're just like laughing, they're just like, but that they're like, man, that it makes them probably feel good that somebody drove by and like actually said, we're with you, and so I always do that every time I come through the checkpoint. So that's the one thing I look forward to. But I always yell or flash my sign or whatever. I think I've even given them koozies before. I'm like, Latinos are Trump koozies. So but yeah, I mean, those guys, no one really knows what they've been through unless you've sat down with them and talked to them about the story, with all those stories that they have, and the lack of support that they felt that they have always had in the past, and why they finally felt that the union finally felt that they had to step up and say something, because the morale was down, their turnover rate was high, they don't have the resources that they need to combat all that they're combating down there. So that here, like I said, at Latinos for Trump, that is one of our babies. That's our baby. That's one of the initiatives that we take care of. And if those Border Patrol agents call us for anything, we always answer to them. Whatever they need. I think one of the other Republican, El Camino Republican, hand sanitizer, and had asked for certain items, and I think the Republican women there in San Antonio put together like $2,000 worth of hand sanitizer and bug spray and things that they needed, and we took it down and delivered it with the Republican women down there, and so
And Bianca,
those are the kind of things.
imagine right now, Bianca, what that $2,000 worth of hand sanitizer would be worth. It'd be worth like $2 million. We can't find it anywhere.
Listen, Myra was there, and it was like, and Deb Wall, because Deb Wall was the one, and they had these like laundry baskets full of hand sanitizer. Those Border Patrol agents are like, man, thank you, Latinos for Trump, and the Republican women and the El Camino women, and thank God, because they were like, oh my God. I mean, it was like so much stuff, and they were like, oh my God, how are we going to pass it all out? But they knew, I'm sure they passed it all out. And I'm sure, look, it's probably come in handy, for them. And so it's like I said, hey, those Border Patrol agents, we love them and we will always support them and do whatever that it is that they need of us. Because yeah, you're right. Listen, we can be a voice for them when they can't not all come out and because of their jobs and, like you said, contracts and things like that. So it's amazing. But Laura, what else is there? What's a call to action right now? Is there an elected official? Here I say elected official because you are a Republican women vice president. You're also one of our marketing advisor. You're our marketing advisors. Here at Latinos for Trump. What is your call to action tonight to people who are watching? What would you say that we need to do?
Speak up. Doesn't matter if you're quarantined in your house. Use your computer, use your social media, use your phone, text your friends, comment on posts that you agree with, share posts. If you're going to only leave the house to go to H-E-B or to Walmart, what have you, wear a bandana that is an American flag. Support something that is patriotic on your shirt. Whatever it is, whether it be a Latinos for Trump t-shirt, whether it be a cap, whether it be a Second Amendment shirt, whether it be a cross stating that I'm a Christian. Be patriotic, be supportive. Don't be afraid of what you stand for. You'll be surprised how many strangers will soon become friends because they have the same thought, Bianca, but they're so afraid to speak out or to wear something that symbolizes what they stand for. And you'll be surprised how many people will come up and say, I want to, but I'm just afraid. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid in the United States, in the state of Texas, especially in South Texas, where the hell else do you think you're going to be able to feel safe?
Yeah, that's true. That's a powerful message.
If we lose the nation, we lose Texas. Where are we going to go?
Yeah,
there is no place more conservative than where we currently reside. And if we take it for granted and do not stand up and speak up, we're in trouble.
Yes. You're exactly right, Laura. You're exactly right. I'm you inspire me. I know in the background you keep the team. You're always one that's a motivator and an inspiration to us. And even when tough times come along for us in our organization, you and even Yvonne, you all are like rooting us. You're like, hey, you can do this. Stand strong. You're always in the background, inspiring us and motivating us. And definitely, you're like y'all are like our mamas. It's like our mamas. Our advisors become our mamas, and the male advisors become our daddies. So it's like it's great because you guys, that's what you're supposed to do. You keep us going, you keep us motivated, but you also advise us and say, that's not such a great idea, but this is, or hey, go for it. I mean, there's been times that we're like, well, this is not going to be popular when we do this. And you've been like, go for it. Like, go for it, because you know how important it is for us to be vocal and to stand up for what we believe in. And so we really appreciate you here at Latinos for Trump. You have been a blessing to our organization. You have been a blessing to me. And so I just want to say, listen, you got our little store over there with all the little, you got aprons and baby onesies, and we've got t-shirts and hats. And so, I've got the little ticker down here. You can go to latinosfortrump.us and send us a message. You can send us a message on our official LFT 2020 page on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Send us a message. Reach out to Laura Kirby. Her name is Laura Kirby. Reach out to her, send her a message. Say, hey, I want to purchase one of those t-shirts to support all of the work that Latinos for Trump is doing. We thank you. We appreciate y'all. I think you said we had because of the quarantine, you said, hey, and I guess we didn't probably advertise it all so well, but let us know what those specials are on our store right now with the Latinos for Trump with a Trump hat. Trump with this Mexican hat. So what do we got, Laura? What do we got for people?
Well, we're down to $20 right now for T-shirts and for our caps. So
awesome.
To us, it's more important for our organization not to have those items for profit for our organization. To us,
yes,
it is much more significant that we have the message that's out on the street. Again, when these individuals are going to HEB, when they're going to Walmart, when they're walking the dogs down the street, I want them to support and proudly support with their cap or with their T-shirt that, yes, I am a voice, and I'm okay with having that voice. I am that person, and I am supportive of our president, and I am Latino, and I'm okay with it. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, I wear mine, and no one tells me anything. I wear it everywhere. Like I wear it to all kinds of stores, retail stores, HEB. I wear it in and out. You know, I'm just, no one has ever. Listen, I've even stopped at Buc-ee's, like the Buc-ee's when I'm traveling, you know, and I have my Latinos Trump shirt. And people will be like, where'd you get that? And I'm like, oh, you can get them on our website. So I'm handing out cards at Buc-ee's. And they're just like, oh my God, I really want a shirt. I think if I actually had them on hand, which now I do, obviously all of us have, you know, some kind of inventory. And so now that I have them, it's like, yeah, hey, I can hook you up in the back of my car, just like a true Hispanic, right? Always trying to make money. It's like we're always trying to figure out a way, right? So I'm like, hey, I got this in the back of my car. So it's awesome now that we have it. And you're right. It's not about making the money because we are not making a huge profit on these, but it's about making sure that we put enough product out there that people can show their support for not just the president, but for our organization and all that we do. And again, you know, it shows, it just is, it's a symbol of appreciation, I think, for people like all of us, because we're all volunteers. None of us get paid to do this. None of us. We get no payment at all. We're not on any salaries. Everything that we do is all volunteer basis. And I think a lot of people just probably don't even realize that. But it just says, hey, I support you guys for everything that you do. And I'm going to wear this shirt proud. So I hope that you can go. And like I said, go to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @official LFT 2020. Or go to visit our website. It's down here, latinostrump.us. Please send me or Laura Kirby a message. You can find me at Bianca for Texas. Also on Facebook. Send us a message. Tell us if you want to place an order. We can get one of those T-shirts out to you ASAP. Anyway, Laura, I just want to thank you so much for coming out and making the time of your busy schedule, because I know you're extremely busy. I mean, like you have not stopped working. So I want to thank you so much for taking this time. It's precious time from you to come and talk about all the wonderful things you all are doing at the Republican Women Group, everything that you are still doing for our state. You're making, I think you have made over almost close to 2,000 calls on your own. I mean, that is fantastic. You are, like I said, you're an inspiration to the rest of us. And when you told me, like, yeah, this is what I've been doing, because I didn't really know that you were doing those things. But once you said, I was like, then Maida, me, Jen, all of us were like, hey, sign us up. We're going to go ahead and start making phone calls, because we knew if Laura can do it, we can do it. So, hey, get us on the red dialer, and we'll start calling and helping out, helping out our state and helping out, everybody, here in Texas that we possibly can. So again, thank you so much. Is there any last words? Any big thing?
I just encourage everyone that is participating in our live feed this evening, be our voice, be our billboard, wear your shirts, things of that nature, put the bumper sticker on your car, whatever the case may be. And we have talked a lot this evening about active Republican women's groups. Don't feel if you're not a woman that you can't be active. It's just that us women are the ones that get stuff done. So that's why there are so many Republican women's group designated around the country and the state. But we need everyone's help. Even if you're sitting at home quarantined and you're bored to death and you've watched every show on Netflix, give us a call, give us an email, something. Let us provide you with the login credentials to make some of these calls for the Trump Victory Campaign. It is extremely eye-opening, and I feel that it will encourage people to feel more engaged in what's really going on outside of the four walls of their home.
Thank you so much. Very well said. such a classy woman you are. I just want to grow up to be like you one day. So, we'll grow up to be like Lauda one day. But anyway, I thank you guys so much. Again, yes, reach out to Laura Kirby, like I said, or our organization, send us an email, LatinoTrumpCoalition@gmail.com, or you can email me, president at latinosfortrump.us as well. Reach out to us. Let us know. I can connect you with Laura, let you know exactly how you can help her make phone calls, how help the rest of us make phone calls. But anyway, we were here with you. Thank you so much for spending the evening with us here at Latinos for Trump. And as I always say, I'm Bianca Gracia. I'm your host, and peace out.
See you later, girlfriend.